Good afternoon. My name is Jerrett Nicholson. I'll be giving you a speech today on the tragic events in Waco, Texas in 1993 involving the Branch Davidians, a sect of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, which I will call the ATF from this point. When I researched this project, I want to make sure I get this right from both sides. So I consulted two books. The first book that I looked into was Waco, a survivor story. It was written by David Thibodeau, who was one of the four survivors that day of the fiery end of the tragedy in April of '93. The other one was simply entitled Stalling for Time, My Life as an FBI Negotiator, written by Jerrett Nicholson. Imagine everything that you had, everything you cared for, going up in smoke in less than 2 hours. This is exactly what happened with the tragedy between the FBI, the ATF, and the Branch Davidians in Waco, Texas in '93. The 3 points I would like to shed a little bit of light on today are main point 1 being the Branch Davidians, main point 2 being the ATF, and main point 3 being the tragic end of this. Main point 1 is the Branch Davidians. Like I said, they're a separate sect of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. And they were founded in 1930 and established themselves in Waco, Texas. And when David Koresh got involved with them in the late 70s, early 80s, Linda Roden was in charge. But once she died, George Roden and David Koresh had a power struggle that ended up David leaving Waco to regroup in Palestine, Texas, and then in the late 80s, came back and overthrew George and took over the compound. Once this happened, you may ask yourself, how did the ATF get involved? Well, it was simple. It was a UPS delivery driver who was dropping off a shipment, and the box cracked open when it fell off the back of the truck, and there were grenade holes in there that were refillable. This alarmed her. She told her supervisor. The supervisor showed the federal authorities, and here we are on the ATF's radar. The other underlying reason for the ATF being on the radar was an allegation of child abuse, more specifically, underage, David sleeping with the underage young ladies. Now we move on to the ATF. The ATF was able to get the warrant and able to serve it on the grounds of illegal firearms, removing the children, and arresting David Koresh. This information got released to the media. The media went out looking for the site, which this was all supposed to take place on February 28, 1993. They couldn't find it, so they spoke with the postman that was on his route. He said he didn't know where it was. So he went on his way, they went on their way, but as soon as they were out of sight, he went back to the compound and told David. Surprise, surprise, he was a Branch Davidian also. So also, the FBI had their own person inside the compound, and once he found out that David knew that the ATF was coming, he took off like a rocket. He went back to the safe house. He told the people in charge, hey, this is a bad idea. They know we're coming. Did they listen to it? Of course not. So on February 28th, that morning, the raid went ahead and happened. The events of that day are very much up for speculation. And the only thing that's not up for speculation is at the end of the day, we had 4 dead federal agents and 7 dead Davidians in the start of a very long standoff. The negotiations during the standoff were like a roller coaster. Up and down, empty promises all around. The last one that the FBI decided this was it is David said, I want to decipher the 7 seals, and once I do that, I'll come out. Again, an empty promise. The patients were gone. The FBI, with the backing of the President of the United States, virtue the Attorney General, decided that April 19th would be the last day that the siege would continue. Their weapon of choice was CS gas. The adults within the compound had masks. Unfortunately, the children did not. This was not discovered until after reaction reports at the end of the siege. They pumped gas in the compound. They were trying, their desired result for this was to make sure that the people would come out. Irritated, they'd come out. They did not get the desired result. At the early part of the afternoon on that same day, after pumping approximately 6 hours worth of gas into the compound, it went up in flames. The ATF blames the Davidians blame the ATF. Again, no one surely knows. But at the end of the day, what we do know is we had 70 additional casualties, several adults, numerous children, and David Koresh were among the dead. This will be a source for conspiracy theorists for years and generations to come. But three of the main points that I've made today. They will be the Branch Davidians, they will be the ATF, and they will be the tragic way that this all ended. This has a very much similar feel to the JFK assassination, where in downtown Dallas and Dealey Plaza, several secrets are still hidden among the buildings and the grassy knolls. As for Waco, several of the questions that we would desperately want answers to simply went up in ash and smoke on the 19th of April, 1993. Thank you.